right, guys, let's welcome Morgan and Mercedes to New Pod here at KNOTFEST.com. Ladies, how are we doing today?
Very well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
Yes. Good.
Very good.
It is so great to have you guys back and touring and playing shows and getting out there. And, like, it's been crazy. I mean, obviously interviewing you over the years and kind of like where there was no Kittie and then like, there's Kittie again. And just seeing the response from people and just seeing, like, you know, how high up on the festival bills you guys are. It's amazing to see kind of the resurgence of Kittie.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are as surprised as yourself and as many. Like, I mean, there have been a number of years in the past 10 years, I guess, that Kittie was not an active band.
Right.
And, you know, we never, like, broke up, but it was just nothing happening, right? And we were resolved that the world didn't really care too much.
Right.
And it's been a really cool couple of years to see people respond to the music and rediscover the band and to be invited to cool stuff like this.
Nice.
I think the big thing is the rediscovery. Like, we started to notice around, like, when we released the documentary, that, you know, we started to notice music going viral on TikTok, and we were just kind of like, what's going on here?
Right.
And then we started getting offers, which is fantastic. So
All that weird young people stuff.
All these damn kids.
silly
running around.
dances.
Well, the one thing I know that you guys are fans of the new metal era as much as I am and everybody else. So we're going to do a bracket challenge.
Okay.
We've been doing it with everybody, and I think, you know, we're kind of the era. So let's kind of see where we go with this.
Right.
So Elite Eight style, we're going to go down to a championship, you know,
All right.
band or whatnot.
All right.
So let's start. Korn versus Limp Bizkit right out the gate.
Who do I pick?
Yeah.
Korn.
Oh, yeah, 100% Korn.
Oh, okay, all right. Deftones and Disturbed.
Oh, Deftones.
Deftones. Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yep.
System of a Down, Linkin Park.
Well, so here's the thing. For me personally, I never was like a fan of, like, I never purchased like Linkin Park's music and like was like, but like, you know, like they always put on a great show. They write great songs.
Yeah.
So I'll say System of a Down because I did have that first album and the demo that came out. Like they had like a street when the street teams were happening. That's how I got
Back in the day.
it.
I will agree with that.
Yeah, I'll say System of a Down.
All right, System of a Down. And then last one, Slipknot versus Evanescence.
Oh, Slipknot.
Slipknot, yeah.
Okay. All right, now we get to go around again. Korn versus Deftones in this round.
See, this is hard because that first Korn record like changed my life, but also I feel like Deftones have been the everlasting band out of all of the bands from that era that I listened to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's hard. What do you think, Morgan?
I'll say Deftones.
Agreed.
Deftones. Okay, System of a Down versus Slipknot.
Slipknot.
Oh yeah.
And then Deftones versus Slipknot for the championship.
I'm gonna pick Deftones.
I'm gonna say Deftones.
You gotta say, yeah, that is a good pick. You know, kind of looking back over the career, obviously this being KNOTFEST and Slipknot related and everything else, like kind of talk about those early days of touring with Slipknot. Because actually, our you know, our videographer today, I was talking earlier that I got to see Slipknot in like '99 or whatever at a small club and things like that. So just kind of like looking back on those days, how bananas was it?
We were talking about this yesterday, how Sean used to huff. He had like a pickled dead crow in a mason jar that he used to huff and then puke into his mask to get excited for shows.
There's some wild stuff.
or like they'd be like, yeah, I puked into my I can remember them like talking like, oh, last night I puked into my mask and then it went into my eyes and it really burned.
And you're like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, it was wild times, you know, and for us that was our first that Slipknot tour that we did January 2000 was our very first touring experience.
Well, other than like the small couple tours that we did with like Skin Lab and stuff.
We toured with Skin Lab for like 2 weeks, but this was
Shout
our
out
first
Steve.
like, right? This was our first big like national tour that we did, and so we were just learning the ropes, and to be out with those guys sort of at the height of the excitement around them, you know, they were still playing smaller places, like not nearly as big as they are now, but like they were always jam-packed, and the shows were so high energy, and they were riding high, and it was some wild times.
It was definitely a time, you know. There was a time that, you know, you didn't know what any of them looked like.
Yep.
You know, they were kind of our generation's Kiss, you know, and there was like the mystique around them. There was 9 dudes on stage, and like the bass, even down to the bass player being left-handed was like visually different. Just everything was different about him, and you could watch the DJs and everything else going on the whole time. So it was definitely a sight to see, especially in a small club, because they would, the first time I saw them, they opened for Machine Head and Cold Chamber on that Live in La Vida Loco tour with, and they were in front of backlined gear. So, I mean, they were just like on top of each other, just punching each other in the face. It was bananas.
Yeah, it was very high energy.
Yeah.
Very, I mean, and they still are, but it's like to have that raw energy, like compacted into like a tiny club. It's like explosive, right?
Yeah, good times. Talk about the Kittie fans. I've noticed, over the years, obviously having you guys on the podcast over the years, like I'll still get like things retweeted that I posted about you guys 2 years ago. Yeah. And it's just like, it is one of the most loyal fan bases I've ever seen with a band.
We have the best fans in the universe. I don't care what anybody says. And like a lot of those people have become like really close with us too, which is, and we took a little bit of a break. But I feel like now is the time for us to start doing things. So I feel like people are getting really excited again. And there are just like so many faces. Like when I look out into the crowd at these festivals, there's so many faces that I recognize, which is amazing. And I'm like, that's that girl from that place, and I know that person. And it's so amazing that like after all of these years, those people are still here. Yeah. And I think we have a special relationship with our fans that I don't think a lot of bands really do. Like we make sure that they are taken care of, and a lot of times, and like if a fan can't afford to come to a show, we take care of them, that kind of thing, So I don't know. We love them. They're fantastic people, and I feel like those people that were with us at the beginning, their kids are now into the band. Right. So we have a new crop.
Yeah. So, the one thing with you guys too is, you guys were the one band that kind of crossed over between Sick New World and When We Were Young. Yeah. Talk about, was there a different in the air of those two shows, or was it just like two festivals of people loving music? Could you tell a difference?
Yes. Yeah. So I think When We Were Young, we were era specific for that show as well. Yeah. And I mean, we're honored that we got asked to do both. But I think Sick New World, the crowd was more of like a crowd, like a nu metal crowd, and so they were a lot more familiar with us. Like there were a lot of Kittie fans that came out to When We Were Young, but Sick New World was just like, we were in our element. Yeah. So we could feel the difference, but the people that came to see us at When We Were Young were there to see us. Yeah. They our set was at the same time as My Chemical Romance, which is like
that's right.
Huge, right? So it's like anybody that came to see us and stood in front of our stage to watch us was there just to see us.
Please tell me the emotions of when you saw the lineup. I know my emotions when I saw the lineup, and I was like head in hands, because if you're going to When We Were Young, you're probably going for My Chemical Romance, and that's tough. That's really tough.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, we were super stoked to be there.
Yeah.
There were a lot of heavy bands there too, and whatnot. But
I would say that we were the heaviest band there.
Yeah,
for sure, absolutely. And that's a nice title to have when you stick out in that way.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, and like Sick New World was also such a killer lineup. Like the crowd was great. A lot of people there never seen us before, and we had a wild set. So
awesome. Well, Morgan, Mercedes, thanks for taking some time here at New Pod.
Thank you.
KNOTFEST.com, and so happy you guys are here at Louder Than Life.
Thank you.
Awesome.